Thank you for joining me today, Coach.
You're welcome.
Coach, three of your top four scorers are underclassmen, including sophomore Melissa Casper with 32 points. Can you talk a little bit about how they've been able to come in this fall and really have an impact for the Gorloks on the soccer field?
Yes, we've been very delighted with the way that they've approached it, but their success all season long, and you can even ask the freshman and sophomore this. It's all about their teammates. These young players are surrounded by veteran players who understand the game and are willing to make sure they are in a position to contribute in a positive way. And as a player that plays a team sport will tell you, they'll tell you I'm only as good as the players that surround me. So here at Webster, these young players are surrounded by senior leadership, a group of seniors who provide us the leadership necessary for these young kids to succeed. And those individuals are Chelsea Noser, Brianna Pagan, Lauren Nelly, Carolyn Reese, Kelsey Hausman. All of them have played a key role in making these young offensive players comfortable and putting them in a position to succeed.
Luigi, you've really mentioned the team kind of mindset with the Gorloks. Along those lines, your defense has always been known, as a quite stout defense. With 9 shots this season, you've allowed just 12 goals all year long. Can you talk about, again, how important it is to have that team mindset, especially on the defensive side of the ball, which is really kind of where the Gorloks have made their name?
Absolutely. I mean, our approach to the defensive side is that all 10 field players buy into to our concept of defending, and it's all about hard work, understanding your defensive responsibilities, and executing to the best of your ability. And the entire team has bought into the way of us defending, and they take pride in their defensive effort because they do know that in order to succeed in a game, you have to defend well, and then you also have to make sure offensively that you execute as well. So both components are very important, but we put a high premium on our defensive effort game in and game out.
Well, Coach, thank you for joining me today, and we look forward to seeing you later this week in the 2017 SLIAC tournament.
Outstanding. Thank you, Brian.
We are joined by Fontbonne University women's soccer head coach Brian Hayner. Coach, thank you for joining us today to talk about the upcoming SLIAC tournament.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, you really challenged your team this fall with a tough early season non-conference schedule. Can you talk about that competition, how it's prepared you for key matches later in the season, and really how you guys were able to keep your focus during that early part of the season?
Yeah, we challenged this team with a very difficult non-conference schedule. I think it was a benefit for us despite the losses because I think we were able to identify some things that need to be fixed before conference play. And we made those adjustments, and I think we're playing some of our better soccer now that we're into conference. So it was challenging during that non-conference schedule, but I think the benefit of that was that we learned about ourselves a little bit, learned some things that we need to work on, made those adjustments, and we've done a good job, I think, learning from the lessons of that difficult non-conference schedule and applying those lessons to our conference schedule, and ultimately put us in a position to play in the postseason, which is one of our goals this year.
Coach Hayner, Meredith Went, one of your forwards, has always been a dangerous attacker. However, this year she's really turned it up a next level, doubling her scoring output from last season. Can you talk a little bit about Meredith and the season that she has had for you?
You know, she had a great year last year, and I think this year she was very motivated to come in and be able to contribute again this year and improve on what she did last year. She came in great shape to camp and just has been a real leader for us. She's a big, strong physical forward. She finds herself in very good positions as far as being able to find scoring opportunities for herself. Her teammates have done a great job putting her in, supplying the balls to her to make sure that she can finish those. And I think, her work rate, her tenacity, her ability to play at pace and play physical and her ability to score in a variety of different ways. She's very good in the air. She has a strong shot. So I think all those things combined, with the addition of just making sure that she was very motivated this year to build on what she did last year, I think are all contributing factors to her success this year.
Well, thank you for joining me today, and we look forward to seeing your team in the tournament.
Great. Thank you.
We are joined by Greenville University head coach Jeff Wardlaw. Jeff, thanks for joining.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Coach, can you talk a little about that three-headed scoring attack of yours of Jade Taylor, Danny Pierce, and Kate Arthur? Three players who have over 30 points this year.
Yeah, that kind of came about 6 games in. We were in a different formation. We were in a 3-5-2, and went away for the weekend and kind of got lit up a little bit, and so a change needed to happen both from the defensive and then from the attacking. We weren't creating enough chances, so Kate Arthur was playing in the center mid. We moved her up top and switched her with Bree Thomas, and then it was a good move for Jade Taylor, who's a freshman, and we needed to simplify the game for her a little bit more as she got used to the college game. And then Danny Pierce is obviously a junior, newcomer of the year, first team all conference, and so jump into that 4-3-3 with her up top as well just gave her freedom to kind of attack. But to be honest, I mean, I know those three get all the credit, but you got to give Bree Thomas. I mean, she's got 16 assists, and she's playing that number 10, that attacking mid role. My goodness, she's kind of behind the majority of those goals, but. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. It's nice that Jade and Kate are freshmen, and so to see this kind of all come together so quickly, changing formation 6 games in was really nice. And to be honest, we haven't really looked back since then. So it's been a nice problem to have. We all need to score goals, and when you have 3 with the kind of stats that they have, they're I think the future hopefully looks bright.
We've talked about the depth of your offensive attack, but not to be outdone is your defense. Can you talk a little bit about the Panthers' defense this past fall?
Yeah. Well, I mean, number one, I would be dumb if I didn't give a lot of credit to Timber Gabbert. So Timber was out last year with her ACL. And to be honest, I didn't quite realize how big of a deal she was till she wasn't there last year. So she's a 5th-year senior, absolutely just crushes people, knows the game, high soccer IQ, extremely high competitive fire. And so she's been really strong for us back there. And to be honest, a lot of these games that we're shutting teams out, those in the years past would be maybe 4-1 wins, maybe 5-1, and so I think you have to give some credit back to our attack as well. As some of these games, we've just kind of been lethal from the start and have just kind of buried teams pretty early. And so I think a lot of some of those shutouts has to go to the attack, that we've just kind of taken the life out of some teams to where it's not much of a game after the first 15-20 minutes. But no doubt you got to give credit to to Timber back there. And then we have Hope Braganoff, our keeper. She went down the first game, so she's only played 2 games all year. And so our second string Marge came in and has done a really nice job. So to have a second string keeper at this level come in and play as well as she has, it doesn't happen all the time. So and then we have a freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, Megan Taylor, who's really jumped in and really just kind of jumped on the tails of Timber and learned from her a lot. And then obviously Corinne Petrunik out wide has been a big deal. So yeah, man, we've had some more shutouts than we've had in the past, and it seems to be kind of all coming together.
You mentioned one of the disappointments last year was Gabbert's injury. Another obvious disappointment was not making the tournament after being there in 2015. Can you talk about the team's excitement coming into this year's SLIAC tournament?
Yeah, super disappointed last year, to be honest with you, and we didn't really, from a coaching staff standpoint, in the off season and all that, we didn't really beat around the bush. We kind of let the team know that, at least within this program over the past 12 years since I've been a part of this program, that the women's team for the most part has been in the tournament. And so missing out, no matter what excuses we had, Timber was out. Our best center midfielder, Barbara, left the team right before preseason, which was a huge blow to us. And to be honest, we had excuses, but in the end, we didn't get the job done. And so the girls in the off season last year were super, super motivated in the gym, playing futsal. A strong freshman class that came in this year, and they saw the fire right away. And so there was really no, just a very, very motivated group. And I made sure that their pride was hurt last year. As mine was, and so I wanted them to feel some of the pride being hurt, and they took it to heart, and they knew that with the direction that we're trying to take this program, that we need to be in the tournament and at least give ourselves a shot. So very, very excited to be back here, and hopefully we can kind of continue this on and not take a year off like we did last year.
Coach, thank you for joining me today, and we look forward to seeing your team this week in the tournament. Joining us is Jen Dyson, Westminster College head coach. Jen, the last 3 years, your team has really turned up in October. What do you attribute to that?
Yeah, Brian, I think it's a lot of factors coming into play, but the biggest one is when we sit down in August, we really look at what we want to become as a team and how we're going to get there. And as we go through that piece, there's a lot of building and growth that takes place. The process isn't fast. It doesn't come together in 1 second. And through the adversity that they face, the obstacles that they overcome, they become stronger. Their relationships become better, and they're able to achieve more and accomplish more on the field because of those relationships being better and that adversity that they've faced. And I think for the past 3 years, we've had groups that really do want something. They understand what the results can look like. But this group this year, I think, is even a little bit more different. This senior and junior group really understand what it takes to get to the national. Be in a place where all this work kind of comes to all these, helps us to succeed in all these goals. And so I think that's really where we're at right now. The girls are healthy. They're excited about what's to come. They're no longer, this isn't like an extra for them. This is what they want to be consistent. And so they're really ready for this next step now. And I think hopefully it can continue to carry forward as we go this week.
Jen, could you talk about two of your players that have really had outstanding offensive years this year, Paige and Gracie? How have they been able to keep it consistently on the offensive attack?
Absolutely, yeah. I think Paige and Gracie are two fantastic players. They have an incredible amount of talent, athleticism, and discipline within how they play. And their success and their goal scoring has really come about with that team that we're talking about, that discipline and that understanding of what needs to be accomplished. And the group that we have right now is completely committed and bought into succeeding as a team and doing it together. And through the season, there's been a lot of development in what our offense needs to look like, and as we attack, how we need to go about things. Gracie and Paige have been integral in helping us finish those things, and the team has gotten better and put ourselves in better situations for them to finish. And so those two have definitely grown as players, but as has our team. And I think those two would be the first to say, their success is a direct result of all this hard work that the team has put in and the growth that they have had.
Coach Dyson, thank you for joining us today as we look forward to the tournament, and best of luck the rest of this week.
Sounds great. Thanks, Brian.